Okay, so we're on problem one of the practice task for Big Box, and we have this massive table here that we need to fill out. And it wants us to complete the table for different travel times. Let me get the big highlighter out for traveling different amounts through the jungle. So we're wondering if we travel different amounts through the jungle, how will that affect our total travel time? So that variable is c. And remember, c is, I'm going to flip back to the first page here. C was how much you're traveling through the jungle. So it could be a whole bunch of different values. Like, let me get my eraser here. So you could travel, let's see, you could travel this way through the jungle and then get on the road. Or you could travel a very short distance through the jungle and then get on the road. Or you could travel a very long distance through the jungle and then get on the road. So there's a bunch of different amounts that we can take through the jungle, and we're going to see which one is going to produce the fastest time through the jungle to get to our safe house, to get away from the zombies. Ah! Okay. So back to page 2. So we got different amounts of C, which is how much we're going through the jungle. And we want to use that number to fill in the table. So we have like 3 miles through the jungle, 3.2 miles through the jungle, all the way up to 5.2 miles through the jungle. Okay, so let's see what happens when we go 3 miles through the jungle. So I'm just going to show you how to fill out a few of these and then probably fast forward the video to the complete table so that you can work out some of the values on your own. So we have B, the horizontal distance covered when we travel a certain amount of C. So B, let me flip back to the first page to remind you what B is. B was after you travel a certain amount through the jungle, B is how much horizontal distance you covered to the house. Okay? No stitches. So B is dependent on C, what C is. And the formula for that, if you remember, is B equals square root of C squared minus 9. So if C was 3, then our B would be, let's see, B equals square root of, so C's 3, so it'd be 3 squared minus 9. B equals square root 3 squared is 9. And then 9 minus 9 equals 0. So B would be 0. So in this case, B would be 0. And that makes sense, right? If we travel 3 miles through the jungle, let's look at that. Traveling 3 miles through the jungle would mean that we went straight up from where we were. If we went straight up to the road, then we didn't travel any distance horizontally to the house. Does that make sense? So we traveled 3 miles up through the jungle to get to the road, but we still have that full 4 miles to the house. So we made no progress. And now we have time spent traveling through the jungle. So time traveling through the jungle equals C, which is 3, over 1.8. Remember that C is your distance and 1.8 is your rate. So time equals distance over rate. So through the jungle, we travel 1.8 miles per hour, and on the road, we travel 3 miles per hour. So T equals 3 divided by 1.8. Let me bust out the calculator here to see what that would be. Turn it on. 3 divided by 1.8 equals about 1.67. So that equals about 1.67. So the distance left to travel on the road is 4 minus b. b equals 0 in this case. So b 4 minus 0 equals 4. So we still have 4 miles to travel on the road. And we have time traveled on the road would be t minus equals 4 minus b divided by 3. Remember, 3 is your rate. 4 minus b is the distance traveled on the road. So t equals 4 minus b, b equals 0. So t equals 4 divided by 3, which equals... Whoa. So that equals 1.33. And that's in hours. So this is hours. And this is miles. Just for your information. Okay, so the total time you traveled includes the time traveling through the jungle and on the road. So the jungle is this time here, and the road is this time here. So it is this 1.67 and 1.33. We have to add those up. So 1.67 plus 1.33 equals equals 3. So take about 3 hours of traveling. Okay, let's try one more. Bust out my eraser here. Whoops. Maybe I shouldn't erase my actual answers. So let's do 3.2. So if we travel 3.2 miles through the jungle, that would be b equals square root of 3.2 squared minus 9. So on our calculator we can do the square root of 3.2 squared, whoops, minus 9 equals 1.11. So this time we actually did cover some distance horizontally by traveling through the jungle. So we got 1.11. Time spent traveling through the jungle would be t equals c, which is 3.2, divided by 1.8. So 3.2 divided by 1.8 equals 1.78. So that is in hours, and this is in miles. And then distance left to travel on the road is 4 minus b. So that would be 4 minus b is 1.11. So this is our b right here. So it'd be 4 minus 1.11. Whoa. Equals 2.89. So we have 2.89 miles left to get to the safe house. Then time traveled on the road is t minus 2 equals 2.89 divided by 3. T equals 2.89 divided by 3 equals 0.96. And then the total hours we traveled is a combination of this number and this number. Time traveled through the jungle and time traveled on the road. So we have 1.78 plus 0.96 equals 2.74. Hey, look at that. So we actually saved some time by going through the jungle as opposed to going straight to the road. So I'm gonna pause the video and then I'm gonna fill out the rest of the table and then we'll see what the pattern is. Okay, so we're back and now I finished up our table here. So there's some quick things that I want to point out. One is if you check out when C equals 3.6, 3.8, and 4, that means that we walked, 3.6, 3.8, 4 miles through the jungle to the road. And when we do that, check out our travel times. So the travel times, they go down 3, 2.74, 2.69, 2.67, and then it stabilizes at 2.67, and then look, it starts to go back up as we start going down. So around this time would actually be, oh, my pen doesn't work. This would actually be the ideal distance to walk through the jungle in order to cut your time down to as short as possible. Another thing that I want to show you is down here we have, my pen's messing up, we have at 5.2, then the distance that you travel horizontally is 4.25 miles. But remember from back on our first page that the safe house is only 4 miles away. So we actually overshot our safe house. So I said that this is not possible, right? You wouldn't want to walk faster than your safe house. Okay, so that is the second page. Now let's go on to the third page and answer those questions.